Hey, welcome everybody. Brian here from T-Sportline, and I am super excited to introduce our latest and greatest screen for Tesla Model 3 and Model Y. Say hello to CP9. Now, we've been in the screen game for a long time, but this newest version is upgraded. It still seamlessly blends in with the Tesla. It gives you the center-facing screen, which is the safest place for you to be looking. And of course, the integration with Tesla gives you the speed indicator, the gear selection, turn signals, autopilot, that kind of stuff. But it also has Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. I can choose my own navigation. I like Waze, maybe sometimes Google. I've got that in here, and it's fantastic. Now, just like the rest of the screen's plug and play installation, no permanent modifications, works awesome with the Tesla, easy setup to my phone. But the one thing everybody wanted on these screens was not to block the air conditioning. So let me show you. The best feature on this new screen is the air conditioning flows right through the screen unobstructed. Check this out. I'm gonna turn on my air. I've got my measuring stick here, and look at this, blowing right in my face. This is perfect. All right, everybody. With that, I'm going to hand it over to Logan to get into the install.
All right, so starting for the install, we're going to focus on the wiring harness and plugging that into the car. So we'll be using our trim removal tool, and we'll be taking out a couple panels on the passenger side, one of these upper kick panels, two of these side door trim panels, and then we'll be moving this a little bit out of the way, the lower kick panel. All right, so we're gonna move underneath the glove box, and we're gonna be removing the 4 plastic trim pins using our pry tool up here. So once the 4 pins are out, we'll be able to grab at the front of this plastic piece. The light can be disconnected and set to the side. Next up, we're going to move to our door trim panels. There's going to be 3 clips here that we'll need to release with our pry tool. Don't want to go too deep. Next 1. 2 and 3. And then we'll release this one as well. Starting from the top. For the door or kick plate, we have a plastic clip up here we have to undo, and then a plastic clip further down we have to undo. So I'll remove this one right here now. Then we can pull this away. And we just move it up and away. And the last piece that we'll have to remove to reveal the wiring is this pin right here. And that will allow us to peel the carpet back and see all the wiring. All right, before we move any further, we need to verify what processor is in your Tesla. There's the AMD and the Intel. The wiring harness is included for both. Our Model Y is the AMD version. So we'll start by showing you how to install the harness for AMD first. So I pulled back the carpet and this foam to reveal a little bit more of the wiring. We're gonna be plugging in right here to the CAN bus, and then also right here to this white plug. So we're gonna locate our plug here. This port is already empty. So we'll snap that in right there. And then the white plug out here, we'll unplug, plug in our new connection, and then plug the old connection into the other side of the port. Snap. Since there are multiple CAN bus ports throughout our Tesla, we include a pass-through CAN bus in our wiring harness. Since we chose to use the CAN bus in the passenger side footwell, we won't need to plug anything into this extra CAN bus port. Taking a look over at an Intel vehicle now, we need to locate the Intel host power plug. Unplug it from the car and plug it into the open plug on our wiring harness. and then plug the remaining end of our wiring harness labeled Intel into the open port on the car where we removed the Intel host power plug. Now that we plugged our wiring harness in down below, we're going to remove some of these trim panels up above across the whole length of the dash to provide a channel to hide our wiring harness. To do this, we're just going to pull out right here and the dash piece will come out just like that. And we'll do the same thing to the other side. With the top panel removed, we can start to route our wiring. We'll pull our wire up and tuck it across. So before we move on, we're going to take our dash piece and mock up our screen in the dash. So we'll take it and put it back into its original location. Don't need to pop it in at this point. We'll grab our screen. The screen has some locating pins that fit into the vents right up here. So we are trying to, at this point, center the screen within the steering wheel. And you can use some light pressure to hold it in place. The wires are preventing it from fully seating, and that's okay. We're going to be taking the whole assembly to a table to fully seat the wires and fully seat the screen. So we have our assembly out here on the table. What we're going to do, I find using a piece of masking tape helpful. Pull it out of its location. Put a little mark for where we want our wires to be. And then we'll be able to feed the wires through the vents. The screen can follow. Remove the tape. Press it up tight. Now we're going to use the supplied brackets and supplied hardware to lock our screen in place. Now with our screen attached fully to our dash, we're going to be able to address our electrical connections. So for our application, we will take our blue and red cables and connect them with our blue and red cables from the harness. You'll see it power up. We're not going to be using the yellow connection for this application. Make sure your wires are all tucked. You can start reassembling the dash. The dash trim reinstalled, we can now go ahead and start putting everything back together.
That install was pretty easy. You can see Logan's got a setup here. I've got navigation set. Now, you can get this screen from tsportline.com and give it a go, guys. All right, thanks for watching this video. Make sure you like and subscribe to our channel and drop a comment below. Let us know what navigation or what feature you like best on the new CP9 screen.